my fellow Africans.
Today we'll talk about Africa, once seen by Europe as the antithesis of civilization, the heart of darkness, in the words of a certain Joseph Conrad. Centuries later, Africa remains ignored. It makes news for its conflicts, poverty, and exoticism. For the longest time, the world saw it as a lost cause.
The time is now to wake up. The time is now to unite. The time is now to speak up.
China, the United States, India, the European Union, Japan, Israel, Canada, all of these countries are in the race for Africa. And one country is emerging as the clear winner.
The time is now to stand for yourself, to say no more exploiting Africa, to hold accountable corrupted leaders and those who betray.
A continent of 54 sovereign states, 17% of the world's population, 9.6% of the global oil output, 90% of the world's platinum supply, 90% of the world's cobalt supply, half of the world's gold supply, 2/3 of the world's manganese, 35% of the world's uranium, 75% of the world's coltan, and 54 votes in the United Nations General Assembly. This is what makes Africa so attractive and makes the continent a battleground for global powers.
The time is now to be brave and fearless. The time is now to save our future. Let's fight for Africa. Because if we don't do it right now, I'm afraid we won't have future any longer.
For the longest time, Africa was nothing but a war zone for Washington. It has over 7,000 troops deployed in the continent. They are spread across some 13 African countries, including Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Chad, Democratic Republic of Congo, Kenya, Libya, Mali, Mauritania, Niger, South Sudan, Somalia, and Tunisia. For the US, Africa was a continent for counter-terrorism operations.
I'm afraid our children and the next generation won't have Africa we see right now. Let's fight right now. Let's unite together right now, because the future of Africa and for our children depends on us.
China, the United States, India, the European Union, Japan, Israel, Canada, all of these countries are in the race for Africa. And one country is emerging as the clear winner.
They want Africa so bad. And every single year, you can see the increasing of
investment in infrastructure, military power, diplomacy, soft power, trade, geopolitics. Every country has its own interest in Africa.
Out of all of these, Africa gained nothing. Absolutely nothing. Before we were fighting against colonialism, right now Africa is under debt of China and the US.
Africa is the continent of the future. Thus, we need to make the most of its potential. By 2050, its population will more than double to 2.2 billion people, with over 60% under the age of 25.
How are we going to get out of this? If our leaders are not going to wake up right now and realizing that loans and aid is the new form of colonialism, when are we going to stand up? When are we going to wake up? I'm afraid we won't have a future for our children. I'm afraid Africa is not going to be the same any longer. I'm afraid we're already too late right now.
China is Africa's largest trading partner. Chinese trade has increased 40-fold in the last 2 decades. At least 10,000 Chinese firms operate in Africa. This is according to a McKinsey study. Africa has resources and China has access. Did you know that 1/3 of China's investments in Africa are in the mining sector? China is not the only country investing in this continent. It's not even the biggest. The United States is Africa's largest investor. It accounts for $54 billion of FDI stock. There are 600 American companies operating in South Africa alone. And this, even after the US president called Africa this. For the longest time, Africa was nothing but a war zone for Washington. And finally, it gets to debt trap Africa.
But we still have time, because we're still right here and we can still make decisions for our future children. Let's not think about now and right now and me. Let's think about tomorrow. Let's think about our kids. Let's think about 10 years later. Where are we going to be? If we continue with this way, if we continue on this journey, we're not going to have Africa any longer. Remember, we won't be able to stand out if we don't have unity, if we are not uniting, if we are not becoming one. We're not going to be able to survive. We're not going to be able to overcome anything. Our unity is our strength. And remember what Nyerere said, without unity, there's no future for Africa. Right now, we are so much divided. Ethnicity, geographical areas, colonial boundaries, languages, religion, all these things, yes, are important. But our unity is the most important one. That should be the first thing for us to pursue. That should be the first thing for us to embrace. To embrace our differences and everything that we have. To have one Africa. Because one Africa is stronger. One Africa is a threat to the rest of the world. Let's become one. Let's protect Africa. Let's think about tomorrow. And let's save this beautiful continent for our future children and the next generation. Remember, unity will not make us rich, but it will make it difficult for Africans to be exploited and humiliated and disregarded by others.
Just like the 19th century, there are numerous countries in the scramble for Africa. And just like the 19th century, there is nothing in it for Africa.
Let's unite right now before it's too late.